Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by Legacy FC middleweight Larry Crowe. Larry, how are you?
Pretty good. Thanks for calling me.
Sure. Larry, you got a fight coming up July 19th at Legacy FC 21. How's training been going for the fight?
Man, great, man. It's the most intense training I've ever did. Trying to just capitalize on every aspect of the game, from wrestling, jiu-jitsu, striking, just trying to be a complete fighter.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this more intense training just because, you're trying to improve day to day, or is it because this is a very big fight?
This is a very big fight for me, and I have the most up respect for my opponent, Bubba. I know he's a great fighter, so I know I got to bring my A game.
Mm-hmm. Now, where exactly are you training for this fight? Are you training with Silverback Fight Club, 4 Ounce? Where exactly are you training for this one?
No, I've been at 4 Ounce over the last year and a half, and I also train at Revolution and Soul Ruckus.
Mm-hmm. And who exactly are some of your training partners and coaches that are helping you out?
I got a long list of those. My head coach is Bob Perez at 4 Ounce. I got Leroy Gardner. I bring my wrestling. Zion, Renat Chavez with my jiu-jitsu, Jeff Messina from Revolution, more jiu-jitsu, Daniel Pineda, kind of like, my MMA wrestling. Mm-hmm. Chico's up my standing partner, my striking partner. So I'm bouncing around, man, just trying to get all the training I can.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're going to be taking on Bubba Bush on July 19th. What are your thoughts about him as an opponent?
Man, a great wrestler, somebody that's definitely going to let me know where I'm at in this world, where I'm at in the fighting world, what I need to work on, where I should be, and if I'm ready for the next level. He's top of the line in my idea. He's fought Andrew Craig, who is in the UFC now and winning at 9-1 now. So he pushed him to the limit. So I know that he's going to bring his best game in there.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it just me, or has it been you and Bubba been linked to multiple fights together? It seems like basically every Legacy card, the last 6 at least, it seems like they've been trying to put this fight together. How many times have you been offered this fight?
This, I think, is my 3rd or 4th time. I got injured once, and then he got injured once. He was supposed to fight last time. He got injured. The time before that, I got injured. So it's been a couple injuries that kept us apart from fighting, but I couldn't pick a better time to fight him for a belt. We both at the top of the line, top of the class of our weight class, and I don't see no 2 better 1A fighters in Texas right now.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think wanted this matchup more? Did you want this fight very badly, or was it Legacy who was like, we need to get this fight done, it makes sense, it's going to be an exciting fight, we need to put it together, or was it you or Bubba who were campaigning for this fight?
Definitely Legacy. I think Legacy wants to put the best 2 1A fighters in there, and to me, I don't feel there's nobody better than us two. And he's got the ground. He's a better ground guy. I'm a better striker. We're both strong guys. So the fans want to see it. Everybody in the city of Houston would love to see it. So I think it's just a mixture of all of us.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this the perfect timing for you? Are you happy that the fight is happening right now as opposed to, when you originally got the fight offer? Does the fight make even more sense now than it did, 3-4 offers ago?
It makes complete more sense now, just due to the training that I've received over the last year. When I first got offered a fight, I was over at Silverback, and I'm not saying I didn't take it as serious, but I wasn't as serious in training as I am now. Mm-hmm. It took me a year and a half to really understand what I really need to do to become a true fighter. Mm-hmm. I'm now embracing the 3 and 4 day practices, nutrition, dieting, conditioning, everything, and I've come so far from where I used to be, and I still got a long ways to go, but just the different mindset I'm in now. I don't go out no more. I don't party. My break time, my fun time is at home playing Madden or chilling with my son. That's about the only thing I really do now.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is a very big fight for you. You're fighting for a belt. I believe it's the first time that you're fighting for a belt. It's in your hometown. Are you, looking forward to putting on a show for, your friends and family? Houston, it's your hometown. Is there any added pressure now that it's a much bigger fight, or will this, experience of fighting in front of your crowd kind of add a little bit extra motivation and kind of pump you up for this one?
I will say that fighting in Houston in front of my friends is always a bonus, but once you step into that ring and the doors shut, it's you and him, and all the people outside kind of blanked out, you know. Only people I kind of hear are my coaches, but I'm all focused on my opponent and what he's doing and what I need to do, you know. You like to say that you listen to everybody else, but it just doesn't work that way.
You said you had, multiple offers to fight Bubba in the past, but injuries kept you two apart. How much time have you actually put in to a game plan of preparing for Bubba? How many times have you sat down and said, okay, well, I think I can beat him in this area, and then when he got injured or you got injured and then the fight was re-offered, you switched it? How many times has the game plan kind of switched, or has it been the same game plan since day one? Without revealing too much to your new game plan, for this fight, but how much has the game plan changed, or has it changed from the original offer till now?
I mean, everybody knows there's no secret what he wants to do. There's no secret what I want to do. I want to keep it standing. He wants to take me to the ground. I mean, I've always been a striker, and he's always been a wrestler, so there's no big secret, what we're trying to do. So I really just kind of focus on what I got to do and keep it standing. So, I mean, the game plan has always been the same. No matter what my opponent is, that's pretty much what I want to do. Stand and fight, maybe a little ground and pound, but I just see myself keeping it standing and keeping this battle standing as long as possible.
Larry, talk a little bit about this journey that you've been on with Legacy, because you've fought for them multiple times. You've fought very good opponents. Jeff Rexroad, he's the interim champion for Legacy right now. You fought a lot of tough guys. You've had some very great performances, a lot of great finishes in there. You've had highs and lows, and you've had some no-shows with one opponent who didn't show up the day of the fight. But just talk about this journey that you've been on with Legacy so far, and how much this title opportunity means to you.
Man, I mean, Legacy's now becoming a worldwide known brand and company. So just to get the pleasure of fighting for people on TV and getting my name out there has been everything I could dream of. Everybody wants to go to the UFC, but I'm happy with Legacy. I mean, I do want to fight in UFC eventually, but I could not see myself fighting for anybody else. I mean, they show me all the love and support. I love Mick and Andrea, Colin, the whole Legacy family. They've always had my back. They've always supported me from day one. I try to put on the best show always, Just like you said earlier, the fighting in front of your fans, Legacy is a Houston-based company, so them giving me the opportunity to fight in front of friends has always been the top thing I've always wanted to do. Bring my fans, family, friends, everything and show them what they've given me, just the opportunity to make a life out of this, make a career out of this. Show me that there's an easier way, not an easier way, definitely not an easier way, but a better way to do things. So it's just been all love, complete love from them.
Now, I remember watching a Legacy event. I can't remember the number exactly, but I remember when Derek Lewis beat Jared Rocheldt for the heavyweight title. I remember the ending of that fight and how Derek Lewis came back and won that belt, and then the celebration afterwards. I remember seeing you, and you were just, on cloud nine. You were so happy for him. He's a good friend of yours. He has been with you for a long time. I think he actually was the one who got you into this sport, being friends with him and seeing the training that he was doing. I think that's how you got into this sport. Talk about that time. How excited were you at that time for Derek Lewis getting that victory? Because that's all I remember from that fight. I don't really remember the fight that much. All I remember was you just going crazy. You were excited as anyone could be.
Man, Derek's been my number one boy since day one. For our first 2-3 years of training, it was only me and him training together. Del Mitchell every now and then, but it was always me and Derek, me and Derek. So him winning was almost just as good as me winning. I know all the hard work he puts into it. I know he has a family he supports, so I know where he's coming from. So it's rewarding to see somebody who puts in that much work to get and rewarded what he was rewarded. And then all the no-sayers saying that Jared Rosal was a great wrestler. Derek couldn't get up. He wouldn't let us stand him. They just don't know how strong Derek is. They don't know what Derek has in him. So seeing him is motivation to myself. I'm going against a wrestler too, so I'm going to have the same challenges he had. Going against somebody whose pedigree of wrestling is top of the line. So just seeing that and knowing seeing what he takes to get to that level is just just enough motivation for me to get to the level he's at now.
Yeah, he just signed with the UFC. You mentioned a couple other your friends that are in the UFC now. Is that something that adds a little bit extra motivation, seeing that these are some guys that you were training together with on one level, and now they've moved up and you're still at that same level? Is that something that adds a little bit extra motivation, or does that kind of give you a sense of anything is possible? If you keep working hard, you can accomplish anything, because here are guys who have similar upbringing as you do, and now they've gone on to a higher level. Does that kind of motivate you and make you feel good to see that the stuff that you're doing right now can, if you continue it, keep going and make it to that next level?
It definitely gives me the motivation to keep pushing. It shows me that with the hard work that I put in, I follow their path and work with them and put in all the training that I need to do, that I could be there right behind them. I mean, Houston is, I think, the second, third best city in the United States right now, with bringing upcoming new talent. On that last card, we were 3 out of 4, and Charles Oliveira barely lost that fight to Edgar. I think he almost finished him in the second round. So it shows me that, if I keep working, keep putting in all the effort that I've been putting in, I'll be right behind Daniel Pineda, Andrew Craig, Derek Lewis, Brian McCon. I'll be right behind those guys getting into the UFC. Just got to keep working and keep my mind straight and just focus on what I need to do.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think the Texas MMA scene has completely blown up and we're seeing all these guys compete at the highest level and have a lot of success? Why do you think that is?
Well, I do have to split up. Our jiu-jitsu scene is starting to get big. I mean, a lot of Brazilians have moved to Texas, Macaco, just a lot of different Brazilian jiu-jitsu teams out here now. And then wrestling, which has never been a really big state down here in Texas, is starting to get its limelight down here. And then we just have a bunch of warriors, man, that's ready to fight. We're not, like I said, we're not known for all that stuff, but we're fighters. We've always grown up playing football and all those other sports, but you come down here, you're gonna meet a lot of us that are fight. We'll fight to the end. We're not scared to fight. We'll put our hands up with anybody. And it's just, Houston's a growing city, man. So not only have people that grown up in Houston, people that move from different states and cities that move to Houston. Houston's one of those growing cities with jobs and marketing. So when you have so many people moving in, they bring in their knowledge from whatever state they're from, and we pick from there. We pick off their brain. I got 3 or 4 people at my gym now from Iowa or Florida or California, and it's a collective gathering of knowledge. So we're just slowly getting our name out there, and I'm so happy to see it, man. It's just, eventually we will be one of the number 1 cities. With Houston, with UFC coming to Houston in October, it's our chance to show that we have fighters down here, that we can compete with anybody in the world. Andrew Craig and Daniel Pineda have definitely shown the world that we're some of the best fighters.
Larry, are you a full-time fighter, or do you work a second job?
I got a second job bouncing at nighttime, but I really haven't been able to focus on that too much. I've been focused on fighting for the last 3 months. I work 3 to 4 nights a week at night, but definitely been mostly a full-time fighter.
Now, you mentioned that, your goal, like most fighters, their goal is to make it to the UFC, but right now you're happy fighting for Legacy. How many fights left on your contract with Legacy?
I just signed a new one. So I think it's a 4-fight or 3-fight deal with Legacy right now. So I'm happy to fight as many times as I can for Legacy. Before I get the UFC call, I don't want to go nowhere else besides Legacy or UFC. I'm happy with them. They've always treated me good, so I'll stay right there until I get that big call.
I saw an interview you did, and it said that you didn't really have much interest in Bellator. If Bellator was to come in and offer you, you said at this point in time it's not something that you're interested in. Just curious why.
I mean, I'm happy with UFC. Yeah, I'm happy with Legacy. I mean, Bellator could offer money, but I kind of want to test my powers out in the UFC. That's kind of where I think I want to be. Where I need to be. I see nothing wrong with Bellator, but at the same time, Legacy is right there. Bellator does have some of the top fighters in the world, but I just don't see it as higher level as UFC. the right situation, I can't say I would turn it down. But at the same time, I don't see myself going anywhere besides legacy in the UFC.
You fought at 175 against Jeff Rexroad. I'm not really sure if you've fought at welterweight, but that's something that you've flirted with in the past. Right now you're fighting at 185. Is the plan eventually to go down to 170, or right now are you settling into 185 and that'll be your home?
The plan eventually probably be 170 due to my height. You know, I'm only like 5'10", so I'm not the tallest guy in the world. But at the same time, I'm happy at 185 as long as I get a title shot. And if I win, I'm not going nowhere from 185. But the ideal way for me, I've always told my coaches, is 170. My last 2 fights, I came in at 182. So it's possible, you know, to me to get 170. I made 182 dieting, but not dieting as hard as I could. Not no water cutting, no nothing. So a 170 is something I see myself definitely in the future going down to, cutting some muscle down. And I just think it'll give me more chance to show my strength at that weight class and to show them that I'm just as quick as any 170 or 155er that's in the league now.
How much weight do you have to cut? Because I remember that I believe you started your career at like 240. You were heavyweight size when you got into the sport. How much weight do you have to cut to make 185?
Usually I get around about 210, 215, so it's usually a 3-month cut, but it's a slow cut, so it's nothing serious. I mean, I've been around 195 to 198 for the last month, just kind of maintaining that weight, so I'm pretty much, I only have to cut from about 200 pounds, really. I mean, it's not a heavy cut. It's not a serious cut. I like to be staying around 195 for a while just to keep my conditioning up. I don't want no more serious cuts. I did that last time. The first last time I did that was with Rexroad, and that completely drained me. I lost like 35 pounds in a week, and I'll never do that again.
Definitely.
So I like to stay around 15 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds per month. Then I'll cut the last 10 over the last 2 weeks.
This fight with Bubba on July 19th, how do you see the fight playing out? I'm sure you played this fight in your head 1,000 times over, and you've had a lot of time to think about this fight because you've prepared for him multiple times. How do you see this fight playing out?
Man, I always see myself winning. I can't say that I don't.
Sure.
I see myself losing. But at the same time, I see this being a grueling 3 to 4 round fight. You know, I know it's conditioning. I don't know. It's not always been a top one, and mine isn't either. But I've definitely made an effort to make my conditioning the best it possibly can be. And I hope this is just a good fight. I'm not going to say what round I'll win or anything. I just know it's going to be one of those fights that everybody should watch and see and just enjoy. There's going to be 2 of the best fighters in Texas going at it, giving all they got. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it standing. He's trying to wrestle and ground and pound. But at the same time, if he gets me down, he better be ready to hold me down because I'm getting right back up.
Larry, how many times have you pictured in your head Colin Cantrell saying your name as the new champion and Mick Maynard wrapping that championship belt around your waist?
Every day, man, every day. I get to go in 4 ounce and see Daniel Pineda's old belts, and all I can think about is one of those belts going around my waist, and how much of a life and career changer this will be. You know, this will show the world who I am and where I've come from, and that I'm here to stay.
Larry, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Yes, I'd like to thank So South for always having my back, Brewster's Temporary Service, Moe's Place, 4 ounce, for always giving me the love, KOTG, Zero, you know, for showing me all the love and respect. I mean, Soul Ruckus, Revolution MMA, everybody that's gave me training and extra help. My fans, family, friends, I appreciate all the love and buying the tickets, T-shirts, and everything that I do to support TKC and the movement that we're doing. And I want to thank everybody that interviewed me, anybody that's asked me questions or anything. Just be ready for a new one and to prove TKC. I will be champ.
Larry, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck July 19th at Legacy FC 21 against Bubba Bush.